Hello lettering and illustration lovers, my name is Stephanie and I'm the creative behind my prints collection. Today I'm giving you a quick walkthrough of my alcohol ink brush pack for the Procreate app. I will show you some tips and tricks on how to best use these brushes, and a link will be provided in the description below if you want to check out this set. This alcohol ink set comes with 69 brushes, 2 color palettes. One is to be used with the alcohol ink stamps, and the other one is a metallic palette to be used with the gold brushes. You will also have access to a guide, a workbook full with tips and tricks and how to adjust a couple of the brushes settings to your liking. So without further ado, let's jump into today's overview of the alcohol ink brush set for the Procreate app. So let's open the Procreate app. I'm using a screen size canvas and I'm gonna give you a quick overview of these brushes. As I've mentioned, this brush pack comes with 69 brushes. You have over here 2 texture brushes, then you have a gold magic effect, another one which is a monoline brush to create fine edges, a gold edge stamp, couple of drops, some splash brushes, dust brushes, and then we move into the alcohol ink stamps. So you have some light stamps, which the effect of the alcohol ink will be very light. Then you have others, which the effect will be a little bit stronger. You have stamps with a couple of rings. You have stamps with flowers. You have long stamps. These are my favorite ones to use. And then almost at the end, you have a couple of brushes which are alcohol ink frames. So basically this is a frame that has an alcohol ink stamp built into it. So it's lovely to create lettering, to frame your post, to frame your post and put on social media. I love to do that. And also you have another option, which are these gold frames that are provided over here. If you use the metallic swatch provided, you can create a gold frame and then you can use the alcohol ink stamps to create a frame to your liking. And at the very end, you'll be provided with 4 customized brushes, which you can use to create your own customized alcohol ink effect if you would like to. So let's go to the top of our pack and let's start with the paper texture. So for the paper texture, I like a dark brown or a dark orange. This is my personal preference. And then if you stamp it, you'll see that it will create this cool paper effect that you can use and add your alcohol ink stamps on top of it. So this is a cool effect. And then let's open a new layer. If you want to use another effect, you have this brush over here, which is the canvas texture. So this one over here, if you stamp once, as you can probably see, you will have a very light canvas effect. But if you want to increase this effect, stamp it again and voila. There you go. So I'm going to use this canvas effect for this demonstration because I really enjoy it. And when I'm using alcohol ink, first of all, I set up my canvas. So I will change the properties of the layer to multiply. Let me delete this one. And underneath the layer with the texture, I will add a new layer, change the settings to multiply, and this is where I'm gonna use my alcohol ink stamps. And I like to duplicate these layers a couple of times because I like to use a stamp for each layer, so it's easier for me to adjust a stamp that I want instead of having the entire alcohol ink in just one layer. And then once I'm happy with the result, I will merge the layers and make final adjustments. So moving on, if you go through your brush pack, you have one brush called Metallic Gold. This Metallic Gold, I advise you to use the metallic swatch. And then if you select a color from that palette, that brush, I would use it on top of my texture brushes and the alcohol ink stamps. So this brush is pressure sensitive, and as you increase the pressure, it will increase the effect of the brush. So this brush has a nice edge effect, a darker edge effect, and also a gold effect that you can use to add some details to your piece. And you can create gold, rose gold, silver, any kind of gold effect that you want. The colors, use the colors that I've provided and your creativity. So this is the magic gold brush. But if you don't want to apply directly this gold effect, you want to work with a black brush. So this one, the Monoline Fine Edge, the best way to use it will be with a black color. So let me add a new layer, turn this off. And this one also is pressure sensitive, so as you increase pressure, it will increase the effect of the stroke. And as mentioned, it is like the previous one, it has this edgy effect over here. So this one you can use on your piece to create edges or details to your alcohol ink. And if you like this color black, amazing. But if you want to add some gold effect and you don't want to use the magic gold brush, you can import a metallic effect, a metallic texture, and create a clipping mask. Or you can create a new layer, you can create a new layer, use the magic gold, turn to the gold effect that you want, and increase the size and create this texture over here. And then go back to your layer and create a clipping mask. So this is a cool effect that you can do. Or if you want another option will be to go over your dark pieces to create that gold effect if you want to. It's really up to you, but I really like this gold magic effect. It will really speed up the process. So the other brush that you have, it's a gold edge stamp. So let me open a new layer. This brush, it's a really fun brush to use. So this brush has a gold effect built into it. So if you want to create some details, you can add this brush, and then I will advise to create the stampings on different layers. So let me show you again. So I have a stamp here, and then I will add a new layer, and then you can adjust this to your liking and create a cool effect on your alcohol ink piece. So moving on, you have the single drop. This single drop is to add some bubbles, some drops to your alcohol ink. For this brush, I advise you to use the color white, and it is pressure sensitive. So if you apply pressure, you will have bigger bubbles. So as I stamp, so it creates this bubble effect on your piece. Then you have the multiple drops. So if you increase this, you can paint and the bubbles will appear. You can increase or decrease the size. I will also advise to use the color white for this. Then you have another brush, which is the Gold Big Splash. So again, use a color from my metallic palette. Let me open a new canvas. This one I will also use on top of your stamps layers and your texture layer. So it has a really big splash effect, so you can reduce this effect if you want. It really creates this big drops of gold if you like this effect. Then moving on, you have a gold mix splash. So this is a mix of gold effect with darker splash. So let me show you over here. Create a new layer. So as you can see, it creates a gold effect, but it also has these darker splashes over here. You have the gold dust, so it creates this gold dust effect if you want to add to your lettering like this. And then you'll have the gold fine dust. So this is a very light brush that will create some gold splash, gold dust to add to your piece like this. And then you have another one called Fine Dust Dark. So this brush is similar to the Monoline Fine Edge. So if you would like to use to place your dust, I will use a black color and then add a gold layer. So let me show you its effect. So it's similar to the previous brush, but the difference is that it doesn't have a gold effect. So you can use the dark color and then a clipping mask or the gold brush to create that gold effect, or you can change to the same color of the color that you're using for your stamps to create a little bit of a splash around your piece. So let me turn these off, all of them, and then let's go back to the layer that we've created. We've created a texture layer and change its mode to multiply, and underneath we are gonna start playing with the alcohol ink stamps. So I'm gonna select a dark orange. I really like this color, and then let's go through the brushes. So you have 6 brushes, 6 round light brushes, and the brushes that have an R are brushes that will rotate, so you will not have the same alcohol ink stamp in the same place. The guide will show you how to turn it off if you don't like this effect. And this brush is also pressure sensitive, so if you apply light pressure you will have the color that you've selected, but if you stamp a little bit harder it will give you a lighter version of the color that you've selected. I like to do it on different layers, so I can have like this, and then I can rotate, adjust if I want, if I have them on different layers to my liking. So a fun tip that the workbook has is the color, the workbook that you will have will show you at least, I think, 14 combinations. So you will use 3 in line or 3 in a row, and they will combine perfectly. At least it's a combination that I like, but it's really up to you and to your liking. But then you can use different colors and different layers like this to kind of create a different color effect on your stamping on your alcohol ink piece. So moving on, you have, as I said, like at least you have 6 round light brushes. So this is another cool stamp. This is the 3rd one. So it has a very light effect, a very light alcohol ink effect on your stamping. So after the round light brushes, you will have strong, strong alcohol ink stamps. So these ones have a more intense effect. So as you can see the difference between this one and this one. So this has a lighter effect, this is that has a darker effect, and then I will show you how you can blend this to kind of create an effect of a darker and a lighter alcohol ink stamping. So you have 5 of these brushes, the round strong brushes, and then you'll have the ring brushes. The ring brushes, as the name says, it has kind of a ring built into it. This is another cool effect. So let me duplicate a couple of layers and then show you. So it has this ring effect with a darker alcohol ink, and then it decreases its effect. You have other options to choose from. Let me select this darker. And then moving on, you will have the abstract small stamps. These are 3 stamps, so it will create this kind of abstract with a light effect. And then you have an abstract strong effect like this. This has an increased effect of your alcohol ink. And then you have 5 other stamps, which are flower stamps. So let me show you. It will create this cool flower effect to add to your piece. Let me turn this off and show you like this. And these brushes rotated and are also sensitive to pressure. But as I said, the guide will show you how to turn these options off if you don't like this effect. And then we are moving towards my favorite brushes, which are the long brushes. So if I turn this off, duplicate a couple of more times, there you go. So these brushes are my favorites. I like to use, for example, this one to create a nice effect to a corner, and then I can add some gold effect or splash effect using the lines that the stamp provides. And then you have this, and you also have this one. I also like to use it over here to add some details to the corners of my piece, or I can center and then build with other stamps around this this effect over here. And I also like to use the edges to create some effects as well. Then you have another long cool effect, which is kind of more like a cloudy effect. This one is definitely one of my favorites. So I like to use it on top of the stamping that I did. I will use it. It creates those kind of alcohol ink edges, which I think are very cool. And then this one, it has a mix of kind of a clouding effect with a stronger alcohol ink effect in the middle and a lighter on the corners. And you have this one, which again, this one has a very light effect, and also this very edgy, these edges over here, which are quite cool to use as details. And you can see what I'm going through with these with this step. So this one has also a cool effect over here. And then, so these are the alcohol ink stamps that this set provides you with, and the possibilities are endless. My next video will be actually a tutorial doing a piece from the beginning to the end using these alcohol ink stamps and other brushes to show you the best way, or at least how I like to use them. And then moving on, you have these frames that I've created, which I think are quite cute. If I turn this off, so basically you can use the alcohol ink color palette, and if you stamp once, you'll see that it automatically creates a cool frame, and it has an alcohol ink brush built into it. So you can use this and then create a lettering code, and you can always adjust if you want. And if you want, you can create a clipping mask or change the colors of the ring. The possibilities are endless. I like this one as well. And then this one. And this one. Really cool to add your quotes. And another possibility is to create your own frame. So you have 5 options over here. So you select one. These are gold frames. So you will use a metallic set provided, and it automatically creates a gold effect in your frame, and then from there you can add a new layer and go back to your alcohol inks and create your own custom frame if you want to. Like this, so it's really up to you. And then at the very end you will have 4 brushes that you can use to create your own alcohol ink effect. So let me turn these off. So this one, you can create this darker and then lighter effect in the center, and it will push the colors away. So like this, you can create ring effects. So this is a really nice brush, and then you have other brushes that you can use. So I will also create a full tutorial on how to use these brushes to create your own custom alcohol ink piece, but for the purpose of this demonstration I just want to show you the gorgeous strokes that these brushes do. So basically that is it. That's it for this overview. I hope you found it useful. The link of the alcohol ink brush set pack for the Procreate app will be provided in the description below. As I mentioned during this overview, I will create 2 tutorials using these brushes, and they will be uploaded very soon. And once I do that, I will update also the description of this video, and you can check them out. So the first video will be, for example, how to create this piece over here from beginning to the end, and the second tutorial will be how to actually create a alcohol ink effect from scratch using the liquidify tool. So I hope you found this overview useful. Happy creations, and I'll see you in the next brush set walkthrough or my weekly lettering tutorials or illustrations. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss any future updates. See you soon, and happy drills!